Hi everyone! Today we are going to make some really cute snowman ornaments out of these light bulb shaped glass jars. And I got the jars at Hobby Lobby and they're originally $1.99, but when you can get them for 50% off most of the time, so 99 cents for these jars, which I think is really cheap for an ornament. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take our caps off because we don't have any type of a hanger on the top. So we're going to take our caps off and we're going to create a little hanger. To do that, we're going to cut about 4 inches of wire, and I say about because there's no real logic to how much I cut, except that when I cut it much shorter than that, it was too short to deal with. Okay, so then we're going to take and fold that in half. And this is going to create a little loop at the top is what our goal is. So we're going to fold it in half and we're going to push it down through the center where there is a hole in the middle of the top of our lid. Connector, whatever you want to call this. So we're going to pull it down through here. We're going to actually, I want mine to be just a little bitty loop that I can hook a hanger into. I don't want this to be what I actually put over the branch. If you want enough to put over the branch, then, you know, adjust your length accordingly. And then I'm just going to twist it. I'm going to hold the bases apart and I'm going to twist it 2 times. And I found you don't want to twist it much more than 2 times because the more you twist it, it just gets you a long thin piece that then pulls out. And you really want this piece where they're separated inside so that the 2 pieces of the wire are going in opposite directions, and I doubt that that's clear, but we'll hold that there for you for a second. Okay, and then we're going to snip those off so they're shorter and not sticking out in our way. And then I decided I wanted to be a little more sure that it would hold, although the spread out piece holds, but I then poured a little bit, or a lot, of glue down in the bottom there to just kind of hold it in place so that I didn't have any chance of mine pulling out. And you probably can't see very well right now. That's because it's all clear, but by the time we get done here, you'll be able to see how goopy that is. And then we're going to do our other one here. I have a whole bunch of them working in various stages here, but these 2 I'm doing all the way from the beginning to the end. So now that we've got those glued down in there, we're going to let those cool for just a second. So then we are going to put our lids back on our caps. Now, I don't want my snowman to have a bright gold hat. So I'm going to paint his hat, and I've tried this a couple of ways, and so I'm going to show you the way I ended up with that works the best. I like to use this Zinc metallic Deco Art Dazzling Metallics zinc paint. I like the color that comes out with it, but it doesn't like to stick to the metal of these caps. So I am using a Folk Art Licorice, just a plain black, to give me a base coat. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to paint our base coat. And I have some around here, so I'm going to cheat a little bit here, but we're going to paint our base coat onto these 2. As you can see, the black really does stick well, so it doesn't have trouble sticking to the metallic. It's not had any trouble at all. I'm not having any trouble with it sticking. And then the metallic does well over the top of the black, so I get the look that I want without the blotchiness. I basically tried 3 coats of the zinc before I gave up and said we got to come with something else, because after 3 coats I still had blotchy streaks everywhere, and so this was a really good solution for that. So we're just going to get these done like this. Make sure you cover that top, because remember it's gold too. And set that one aside, and then we're going to do this other one. And I'll be honest, I kind of cheated. And I have a couple that are already painted and fully dried. You do want to let this dry completely between coats or you'll get a lot more smearing. So there's our two with our black on it, but we're going to pull our one that we've already got done over here. And this is an actually bigger jar, so you can see you can use any size you want. I want to do some of these sitting on shelves too, so I thought the bigger ones would be good for that. And so now we're using our zinc paint, and we're just going to paint over the top. And now the zinc paint wants to stick, which is a good thing. And so, and what I found is you get a little bit of bleed through the black, and I think that gives it just a little bit more texture and a little bit more realism. And this was the case with this. I cheated a little bit, and I have one already done this way too. So I'll show you then. This is the result you get when you're done painting it with both colors. And I think that is not too shiny, not too matte. It gives it a little bit of texture. I think that's pretty good. So now we're going to paint our snowman. And the one thing I have learned is that you're going to waste a brush. So first of all, we are using this Aileen's Glitter Snow. And it is a weather resistant formula, it says, but I'm not going to put it out in the weather. It does say you want to let it dry 24 hours, and I have so far complied with that because I'm kind of a rule follower. So I haven't tried to shorten it with using the hairdryer or anything. On the black and the zinc, I do use the hairdryer. Again, just shorten it a little bit, but I didn't try to do that on this. Okay. First time you dip into this, you're going to think, what in the world? This is a really, really, really thick paint. And so I suggest you start at the bottom so you keep yourself something to hold on to. And you're going to paint down to the bottom edge, but you're not going to paint the bottom. And that's kind of important because that's where you're going to leave it to stand. And you don't want to paint so that you're really painting, you're kind of globbing. You're kind of making it look like snow. I mean, that's the objective here, right? You're just kind of globbing it along there. And so it makes it take a little longer when you're painting it because you can't go in really big sections. And you can't kind of just rub your brush across there, but the end result, I think, is well worth the trouble of how long it takes you to paint these. And so we're just going to do this all the way around until we get it completely painted. And like I said, it has to dry for 24 hours before we can actually decorate or do anything with it. So we're going to work our way around. And we're then going to set it on a piece of wax paper. And like I said, it needs to dry 24 hours. I think I let mine go a little longer than that, but I just have more to do with schedule than anything. But make sure you let it dry at least 24 hours before you come back to finish doing it. So this is not a project that gets done instantaneously. And like I said, I've not tried the heat gun on it. I don't think the heat gun would be a really good idea on it. And it's a very thick paint. You want that drying to get down underneath. And a lot of times with the heat gun, you're just getting the drying on the top. So there we go. You can see kind of how he looks all painted up. And we're just going to stick him here on our wax paper and leave him there until he's all dry. So we will come back and see you then. Okay, now that we have got our snowmen painted, we're going to finish up and make them into true snowmen. I mean, right now they're just kind of snow globs. So we're going to use some paint. I'm going to get me a paper plate over here because we're going to use some black paint and some orange paint. We're going to give them a little scarf and make them look like snowmen. So let's start. We're going to make our little scarf first just because I have it out already. And I'm just going to cut a strip that's about 1 inch wide. And this is not anything precise, just about 1 inch wide. Okay, and then we're kind of going to see, we're going to fold it in half lengthwise to make it basically a 1/2 inch kind of little strip, but not a hard fold. I'm just going to kind of lightly fold it here. There we go. Okay, so now we've got it about 1 inch, and kind of in the middle here we've got it folded 1/2 and a 1/2 inch, and we're going to take it over here. We're going to wrap it around our guy and see just how long we need to be, because we don't want to be too long. That's probably pretty good. Right about. We'll lose a little bit here with our knot, but we'll go with right about there, I think. So I'm ending up with a strip that is about, and you know, I'm not a precise crafter, so this is just kind of, we're winging it as we go here. So about, I don't know, 11.5, maybe 12 inches long. Okay, so we've got that set aside, have that ready. We have some little buttons here that we're going to use down the front for his shirt. And then we've got our paint brushes, and we have our paints. So first of all, we're going to get a little bit of paint. We're going to get some orange paint and some black paint. We're going to put a little bit of paint here on our paper plate. And then we're going to get us a little bit of orange paint for the nose to kind of replicate a carrot nose. Okay, and then we're just gonna do some painting here. So we're gonna get us a brush here and dip it in our black, and we're just gonna give ourselves, we're gonna decide where we want our front to be, but it doesn't really matter, and give ourselves a couple of eyes. You have to be better with the brush than I am. I'm not very good with this. Ourselves a couple of eyes here. Painting was never my strong suit. I usually let my daughter do the painting, but she's not here, so we're trying. An eye there, and an eye there, and a little mouth down here. Okay, and then we're going to get another brush here, and we're going to do our little orange nose. I'm kind of going to make a ball here. And put it out like that to make it look as much like a carrot stick as we can. Not bad. Okay, and then my little guy's going to have some buttons down his front, so I'm going to use the hot glue gun and just kind of decide where I want these to land, and we're going to go with, I don't know, about there. Come on. And just, these are little bitty guys, so either use a pair of tweezers or be very careful and don't burn yourself. A pair of tweezers is hard to use because of the really desire to put. Okay. I got those down a little low, we'll see. And then we're going to give him some earmuffs, even though we got a kind of a top hat thing going on. More of a stocking hat than a top hat. Let's give him, this guy, some, he's got some bright red scarf, so we'll give him some bright red earmuffs. So put them out here on the end. Oh, I've got so much trouble with this glue gun tonight. just like that. You probably can't see what I'm doing at all, can you? Just like that. I think I'm going to try something here. We're going to get me a piece of red pipe cleaner. We're going to see if we can't give his earmuffs a little bit of a headband. A little bit of glue there. There. And stick our pipe cleaner down in there into those two glue spots. Please come on. Stick it into those two glue spots we just created. And that'll give him some little earmuffs. Aw, aren't those cute? This turned out really well, I think. Can you see his little earmuffs? See? Yeah. Now then we're just going to take our scarf that we cut just a few moments ago, and we're going to take it and we're going to loop it around. And like I said, I want to try to kind of halfway it and loop it around. Tie it over here in a little knot. And we're doing a really loose knot. It doesn't need to be, it's not important for it to hold it. And we're going to try to keep it down a little bit below his mouth, but we want it to cover his mouth a little bit because you know how it gets when you get outside. It's kind of cold out there. Yeah, and then we're just going to pop a couple pieces of, just a couple spots of glue behind it to kind of hold it in place where we want it. Keep it kind of down a little bit like we want. And there we go. We have a really cute little snowman ornament. And we just have to pop an ornament hanger into our little loop up here, and he's ready to go on the tree. A little bit hard to show you that here, but there you go. One cute snowman ornament ready to go for the holiday season. Hope you've enjoyed this, and you check out all of my friends below.